Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmaswarupine Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmaswarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna-The Namaha Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityorama-mritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been discussing topics taken from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Tomorrow is most auspicious day. We are celebrating Sri Guru Purnima. That is the day all the spiritual aspirants worship their Guru. Guru is one who removes the darkness of ignorance. He lights the lamp of knowledge in the heart of the spiritual aspirant. So today's topic I am speaking about Sri Ramakrishna, the Supreme Guru. The uniqueness of Sri Ramakrishna. Why he is called Supreme Guru? Because he was a realized soul. He realized the absolute Brahman. He realized all aspects of God. He realized the truth in toto. Nothing left which was not known to him. So, he is called the Supreme Guru. Whatever the instructions given by Sri Ramakrishna in the Gospel are meant for all the spiritual aspirants. And Sri Ramakrishna has emphasized how the spiritual aspirant must establish in himself in spiritual way. In order to enter into spiritual path, one should be very simple. One should be free from all hypocrisy. One should be very sincere and honest. And one should be determined. These are the features very important to be cultivated by those who want to take up spiritual path. All these features are well defined in the personality of Sri Ramakrishna himself. Just you see his photograph, how extremely simple, how he is remarkably cheerful. And how he is like a child, free from egoism. He is full of devotion, full of love for God, and he achieved the supreme knowledge. He was thorough in his activities. He was very regular in spiritual practices such as concentration and meditation. So all these features which Sri Ramakrishna wanted the spiritual aspirants to cultivate were well defined in Sri Ramakrishna himself. He is a realized being. So, all the teachings you find in the gospel are really instructions meant for spiritual aspirants. So, in every page, in every sentence, Sri Ramakrishna acts as the Guru. The more you become tuned towards the ideas of Sri Ramakrishna, the more you are serious in your spiritual path, you will come to know more and more about Sri Ramakrishna's infinite grace, and you feel joyful to practice spiritual ideas given by Sri Ramakrishna. So, we have to consider Sri Ramakrishna the Supreme God incarnate. He is with us as the Supreme Guru. Sri Ramakrishna said to M and the others, you can see in the gospel, Sri Ramakrishna made a very significant statement. He said, look, give me your mind and I shall give you knowledge. Are you prepared to give your mind to God? Are you prepared to give your mind to Sri Ramakrishna? He is asking very clearly. Give your mind, I shall give you knowledge. So, the act of giving is a very important factor in spiritual life. Keep on giving. Give more than what you can give. That's the test of spirituality. I used to tell devotees who would talk with me in a casual way, I would tell, look, if you are capable of contributing $100, give 150. That's your test. But we see in our experience they do in the opposite way. A person who is capable of giving $100, he give $10. He should have the benefit of that he has given something, and he wants maximum benefit for the minimum he had given. And they even quote Bhagavad Gita. Lord is so supremely satisfied. If you give it devotion, even 1 cent is worth 1 crore. Very good. The point is how far you are cultivating the virtue of giving wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedness is important. That is a test of your love of God. Do you really love Him? Then be prepared to dedicate yourself. Never hesitate to do things for the sake of God. In another place, Sri Ramakrishna said to Bankim, I am just taking from the gospel how all these sayings are tremendously inspiring. Sri Ramakrishna said, one must have faith in the Guru's words. The Guru is none other than Chidananda. God Himself is the Guru. If you only believe His words like a child, you will realize God. What faith a child has? When a child's mother says to him about a certain man, he is your brother, the child believes he really is his brother. The child believes it 125%. Though he may be the son of a Brahmin and the man the son of a blacksmith. The mother says to the child, there's a bugaboo in that room. The mother says to the child that way, and the child really believes there is a bugaboo in the room, a ghost, something like that. Such is the faith of a child. One must have this childlike faith in the Guru's words. God cannot be realized by a mind that is hypocritical, calculating, or argumentative. These are all disqualifications. One must have faith and sincerity. Hypocrisy will not do. To the sincere, God is very near, but God is far, far away from the hypocrite. A devotee asked Sri Ramakrishna, Sir, is it necessary to have a guru? Sri Ramakrishna answered, yes. Many need a guru, but a man must have faith in the guru's words. Not every day changing the guru. Today one guru, tomorrow another guru, third day another, fourth another. No. You should not consider the guru in a commercial way at all. A man must have faith in the guru's words. He succeeds in spiritual life by looking on his guru as God himself. Again in the Gospel, Sri Ramakrishna said, I already told you how Sri Ramakrishna's sayings are tremendously inspiring. He says, Sri Ramakrishna's words, in every age, God incarnates himself as the Guru to teach humanity. Chidananda alone is the Guru. And now, who is Sri Ramakrishna? Sri Ramakrishna himself said, who was Sri Ramachandra in Treta Yuga, who was Krishna in Dwapar Yuga, now Sri Ramakrishna in this age. So, he is suggesting, here is your Guru, ready to give everything for the sake of the spiritual aspirant. He has come in human form to bless those who are really seeking spirituality. Sri Ramakrishna is the incarnation of this age, and he is helping every sincere and earnest aspirant. Sri Ramakrishna is the crystallized embodiment of all gods and goddesses. All the divine manifestations that have been in the past and will be in the future are within the Master. That's why when we offer worship, probably you might have noticed, the mantra which we use, Om Aim Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya Sri Ramakrishnaya Namaha. That's the mantra. Sri Ramakrishna is the Supreme Guru, incarnate in this age. What for? To give an awakening to the aspirants spiritually. He has come to give spiritual awakening to the aspirants. Not only that, he wants to free them from the bondage of worldliness, from miseries and sorrows. Sri Ramakrishna felt a keen desire to scatter among all the people the great truths he had gathered during the 12 years of his sadhana. And now Sri Ramakrishna became restless. Why? In order to give everything what he has got. He wants to distribute the spiritual treasure to whomsoever comes to him. Out of the infinite love and kindness, Sri Ramakrishna imparted freely spiritual instructions in most simple words with tremendous effectiveness. Read the Gospel. Have open-mindedness. Don't try to hide yourself under some guise. Be open, be sincere, accept your weakness and fight out the weakness. That is spirituality. Not simply covering up our weakness. Covering the weakness, you become more weak. If you want to become strong, you must get rid of that weakness. First of all, you must become aware of your weakness without any hesitation, and then you must take strong steps to get out of that weakness. Sri Ramakrishna, after his great achievements in spirituality, he could never bear any worldly talk. Just as worldly person doesn't bear the spiritual talks, Sri Ramakrishna could not bear the worldly talk. Diametrically opposite. The people around him, mostly priests and other temple staff, they were all worldly. So Sri Ramakrishna would climb up to the roof of the building nearby and looking towards Calcutta, he would cry out, "Where are you all? Please come. Come quickly. I can't live without you." Sri Ramakrishna was hankering after company. He was hankering after people who are seeking God. And he wanted to help them. He wanted to make use of the time available in maximum way. The Divine Mother had assured him that there were spiritual seekers waiting. His various sadhanas were over by 1872. This yearning to commune with humanity arose in him soon after. He identified himself with the whole universe. And his love was in floods. Among those who went to him at that time were a few young men like Narain and others, mostly students in the age group of 14 to 20 years, and other householder devotees. To everyone, he gave according to his or her capacity to assimilate spiritual ideas. The older people could not grasp new ideas about spirituality. So, to them he gave the traditional ideas, but in a purer form. Usually they could come only on holidays. He talked to them. And one of them, named Mahendranath Gupta, M., recorded his talks, which today we get as the great book, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. The younger ones came to him on holidays and also on weekdays. Sometimes these youngsters stayed with him overnight. To them, Sri Ramakrishna gave something new, or an understanding of the old in a new, dynamic form, meant for this yuga. It is that type of teaching which we find Swami Vivekananda proclaiming later to humanity in the East and the West. The Gospel contains these teachings only in a seed form, in hints and suggestions, especially when Sri Ramakrishna addressed Narain, later Vivekananda. Before Sri Ramakrishna's passing in 1886, Sri Ramakrishna gave these teachings to Narain and other young disciples whom he formed into a monastic order. So, how should you consider Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna? The Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna is an extraordinary book of spirituality. You can look upon that contents of the book. You can look upon that Gospel as your Guru in the form of the book, in the form of the teachings. All the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna are vibrant in the Gospel. In it you get pure Sanatana Dharma in its universal form. You don't find in it any dogmas or doctrines, but something that can awaken humanity spiritually. In fact, Sri Ramakrishna would pray to the Divine Mother, "O Mother, let not my mouth expound any doctrine." There are several chapters in the Gospel titled Advice to Householders. What was the condition of the householders? They had lost faith in themselves. Everyone was possessed by the meek attitude. We are, after all, worldly people. What can we do? Probably some people may take pride in telling that. Swamiji, I am a worldly person. Sri Ramakrishna came to remove this negative attitude. Negative attitude is dangerous. It kills you. It ruins you. You are in the world, true, but you should not allow worldliness to enter into you. The boat stays in the water, but water should not stay in the boat. That is how you must conduct yourself in the world. You must know the technique of living the life properly. Someone asked Sri Ramakrishna, "Sir, we are householders. Can we realize God?" Promptly came the reply, "Certainly. You can realize Him. God can be realized by all. He is our own inner self." Through Sri Ramakrishna, the Holy Mother, and Swami Vivekananda, householders of today and the future will develop a new sense of joy, a sense of self-reliance, and a spirit of social responsibility. If you come to Sri Ramakrishna, you are a householder in a special sense, not in the ordinary sense. You are living the householder life in order to live the life of spirituality, not to die like a worldly worm. Sri Ramakrishna and the Holy Mother, they lived as householders, but of a unique type. The householders have to realize that they can grow spiritually, develop a sense of social responsibility, and grow in spiritual awareness and human concern. That is the growth from the unripe I to the ripe I. I means referring to ego. They must grow into citizens of the nation initially, then they should grow into citizens of the world. I belong to the whole universe. Maybe I've been born in India, but I have grown to what length? The extent of coming to America and staying in Chicago. Growing. Still you must grow, reach the heavens, reach the whole universe, reach all the planets. Expansion is life, contraction is death. That is the sign of spiritual growth. What we call Atma Vikas. So they must cultivate Vidyamaya and rise above Avidyamaya. I and mine is Maya, thou and thine is Daya. These are the words of Sri Ramakrishna. How many times you use I? Just count it please and tell me tomorrow. One characteristic of Sri Ramakrishna's personality is a sense of joy in him. Look at him. There's a mild, attracting smile on his face. Mandasmita. Mandasmita. Extremely soothing. Joy is a characteristic of true religion. Sri Ramakrishna showed that the joy of religion is greater and more intense than the joys of worldly life. Sri Ramakrishna used to sing, this world is a mansion of mirth. You find all these things in the gospel. I'm just taking, whatever you take, it is pleasure, it is nectar. Since God is present everywhere, the world is indeed a mansion of mirth. Because God is there, so it is the mansion of mirth. Sri Ramakrishna's teachings contain illustrative parables and stories which can teach us many lessons. Though he had only an elementary education, he could discuss philosophical and spiritual ideas with scholars and astound them. One day he went to meet one of the greatest Pandits of Calcutta at the time, Ishwarchandra Vidyasagar, well-known, reputed person. This meeting and the 4-hour dialogue is recorded in the Gospel. You can read it. Very interesting chapter. It is simply marvelous. It describes how a great scholar got some lessons from this semi-literate person. Sri Ramakrishna was very humorous. Generally, religious people are not humorous and joyous, but Sri Krishna and Sri Ramakrishna were exceptions. So, when Sri Ramakrishna met Vidyasagar, the first thing Sri Ramakrishna said was, I am glad I have come to the ocean today. Till now, I have been only to tanks and lakes. Vidyasagar also was humorous. So he said, "Oh, you have come to the ocean, then you are free to take some salt water from the ocean." Sri Ramakrishna did not stop. He countered, "No, no, no. Why salt water? You are not Avidyasagar. You are not the ocean of ignorance. You are the ocean of knowledge, Vidyasagar." See how nice he tells. Tremendous. In the course of the dialogue, Sri Ramakrishna remarked that all the holy books in the world, anything that is written in the book, they are uchishta, meaning leftover after meals, leftover products, since they have been uttered by the human mouth. Once it is uttered, it becomes leftover. Only Brahman, the ultimate reality, is not uchishta. Because no one has been able to expound Brahman by mouth. Nobody. Yato vacho nivartante, Upanishad says. Brahman is beyond speech. So, hearing this, Vidyasagar was deeply impressed and said, "Sir, please repeat once again. It is beautiful. Vedanta speaks of Brahman as being beyond speech and thought. You can't express its nature through mind or mouth." Sri Ramakrishna conveyed to his listeners on another occasion a beautiful teaching which will help all of us in our day-to-day life, helping us to grow spiritually. Even human child develops the sense of I at the age of about 2.5 years. Nothing else in this world, the sun, stars, planets or animals, has this sense of I. Only humans have it. And that is a source of tremendous power to all human beings. It is through this that the human being dominates the whole of nature. How to handle this I, which appears in all of us as a central truth? It is a profound subject of interest in the whole world. The baby gets the feeling of I, and when it starts saying, "I want this, I will do this," it has started on the long, truly human journey to Atma Jnana. We want to know what's the nature of that unique journey. It is not anything magical or mystifying. It is a science of human growth beyond its physical and intellectual dimensions. So the I that appears in the baby has to develop and expand in a big way. That's the great spiritual education of the child. The first education, and truly speaking, all education is spiritual. The spiritual education of the child is to strengthen that I. That is, to strengthen its sense of individuality. Whenever the child wants to do something, the mother and others around encourage it, so that the child can understand its own worth as an individual and learn to stand on its own feet. Why people are in trouble? Sri Ramakrishna called this the unripe eye. It is because of the unripeness of the eye people suffer. This has only one capacity, namely colliding with other eyes. Sri Ramakrishna says that this unripe eye must develop into a ripe eye. That makes the individual grow into a person, making for happy relations with other people, for it is very necessary to have the experience of spirituality. It is through seva bhava, says Sri Ramakrishna, that this spiritual growth, the second stage in the Atma Jnana, takes place. Hence, service becomes a training ground in the context of interhuman relations for the development of Atma Jnana. I am here to serve you, to help you with whatever surplus energy of body and mind I possess. This attitude becomes natural when the unripe eye develops into the ripe eye. The proud and arrogant eye becomes the servant eye, the devotee eye, as Sri Ramakrishna puts it. Sri Ramakrishna lays great stress on this subject. When the unripe eye expands into the ripe eye, you expand spiritually. The divine in you finds greater manifestation. And since the same divine is in all beings, you become capable of entering into other people and allowing others to enter into you instead of colliding, as happens at the unripe eye level. Consider a family where both wife and husband have unripe egos or strong individualities. There will be no peace in the house. If both have ripe egos, there will be a happy and fulfilled life. This applies everywhere. One great teaching of the Upanishads, the Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, which Sri Ramakrishna emphasized, is God is in every being, and service of beings is the worship of God. He experienced the presence of the divine in all, be they householders or young devotees, atheists or criminals. He would say, I see Narayan in all of you. Service of humanity is worship of God. Every jiva is Shiva. Service of the jiva is the worship of Shiva. Vivekananda developed this into the universal philosophy and spirituality of service. Sri Ramakrishna's parable of the elephant Narayan and Mahut Narayan is very significant. A guru was living in an ashram with his disciple. He had taught the disciples that Narayan is present in all beings. One day, the disciples went out to secure fuel and other things for the ashram. Just then a mad elephant was passing on the road with the Mahut on its back, shouting, "Clear the way! Get away from the path of the elephant. It is mad. It strikes you." He was giving severe warning. He was shouting and shouting. All the disciples except one moved away to safety. That one disciple stood facing the elephant, chanting hymns to Narayan. disregarding the Mahout's constant warning to move away. The elephant, unfortunately, did not know this high Vedanta. So it took hold of the youth and threw him aside and went on its way. Hearing about this incident, the Guru and his other disciples came to where he was. They brought him back to consciousness. And then the Guru asked him, why? When all others moved away from the path of the mad elephant, why should he stood alone there? The disciple replied, Sir, it's all your grace. You taught us that Narayan is in all beings, so I stood there worshipping the elephant Narayan. The Guru said, what a fool you are. Narayan is certainly the elephant. But is he not also in the Mahout? Why did you are observing Guru Purnima tomorrow? I should say, you are really fortunate that you have come to Sri Ramakrishna. And he is the Paramaguru, the Guru of Gurus. So he is called Supreme Guru. If you read his gospel, if you practice what he has said, you will get fulfillment in the life. Page 782, 783. Master said to him, do you know why God incarnates himself as a man? It is because through a human body one can hear his words. He sports through it. It tastes divine bliss through a human body. But through his other devotees, God manifests only a small part of himself. A devotee is like something you get a little juice from after much sucking. Like a flower, you get a drop of honey from after much sucking. To M, he asked, do you understand this? M answered, yes, sir, very well. Sri Ramakrishna began to talk to Dvija, who was about 16 years old. His father had married a second time. Dvija often accompanied M to Dakshineshwar, and Sri Ramakrishna was fond of him. The boy said that his father opposed his coming to Dakshineshwar. Master asked, and your brothers too? Do they speak slightingly of me? Dvija did not answer. M said to the master, those who speak slightingly of you will be cured of it after getting a few more blows from the world. Master, referring to Dvija's brothers, they live with their stepmother, so they are getting blows. All were silent a moment. Master said to him, introduce Dvija to Purna sometime. M answered, yes, I shall. To Dvija, he said, go to Panihati. Master said, I am asking everyone to send people to Panihati. Then he asked M, won't you go? Sri Ramakrishna intended to visit the religious festival of Panihati, so he was asking the devotees to go too. M answered, yes, sir, I want to go. And Sri Ramakrishna said, we shall engage a big boat, then it won't toss about. Will Girish Ghosh be there? Sri Ramakrishna looked steadily at Dvija. Master said, well, there are so many youngsters in the city. Why does this boy come here? To M, he said, tell me what you think. certainly he has inherited some good tendencies from his previous birth. M answered, undoubtedly, sir. Master said, there is such a thing as inborn tendencies. When a man has performed many good actions in his previous births, in his final birth he becomes guileless. In his final birth he acts somewhat like a madcap. To tell you the truth, everything happens by God's will. When he says ye, everything comes to pass. And when he says nay, everything comes to a standstill. Why is it that one man should not bless another? Because nothing can happen by man's will. Things come to pass or disappear by God's will. The other day I went to Captain's house. I saw some young boys going along the road. They belong to a different class. I saw one of them, about 19 or 20 years old, with his hair parted on the side. He was whistling as he walked along. I see some immersed in the thickest tamas. They play the flute and are proud of it. To Dvija, Sri Ramakrishna said, why should a man of knowledge be afraid of criticism? His understanding is as immovable as the anvil in a blacksmith's shop. Blows from the hammer fall continually on the anvil, but cannot affect it in the least. I saw ex-father going along the street. M answered, he is a very artless man. Sri Ramakrishna said, but he has red eyes. Sri Ramakrishna told the devotees about his visit to Captain's house. Captain had criticized the young men who visited the master. Perhaps Hazra had poisoned his mind. Master said, I was talking to Captain. I said, nothing exists except Purush and Prakriti. Narad said to Ram, O Rama, all the men you see are parts of yourself, and all the women are parts of Sita. Captain was highly pleased. He said, you alone have the right perception. All men are really Rama, being parts of Rama. All women are really Sita, being parts of Sita. Shall stop here. Now each one of you can ask a question if you have got any. Anything to ask? Mm-hmm. Where did you read that? See, fighting out the weakness means not that you must do it not that you should fight against the mind in a very impatient way. No. You must give fighting in a steady manner. That means never yield to weakness. That is the fight. Suppose the mind says, let me steal a thing. Do you want to yield to that weakness and go and steal? On the other hand, you say, no, I won't steal. That's the fight. And the mind says, I want to go to bar. Do you want to yield to that weakness? No, I won't go. The mind says, let me go to nightclub. Do you want to yield? You say, no, I don't go. I will go to chapel. That is called fighting. Not yielding to weakness. But you must understand in what context Swamiji has told, and you must read thoroughly well how it is dealt with. But the point is not that in one day I will sit. No, Sri Ramakrishna said, you must weep for God. Today I will sit and I will not get up. till I see God. Like that if you do impatiently, that won't work. Sri Ramakrishna set the ideal, true, but that zeal must be there, but you must apply the force as much as it is required. And you must be steady. The steadiness in spirituality is very important. Steadiness. Be steady and be firm. That determines the fighting tendency. If you are unsteady, you can't fight. You can't win the war if you are shaking. So your goal must be fixed properly, and you must always see you are going towards the goal, and you are not deterred by any obstructions come up on the way. That attitude you should have. You must maintain steadiness and calmness and face the situation courageously. That's the meaning of not yielding to weakness. Klebhyam masmagava partha naitatva yupapadyate kshudram hridayadurbalyam tyaktvo tishta parantapa. Shri Krishna says, don't yield to unmanliness. Don't yield to weaknesses. That's the meaning. If you say, I'm useless, I'm stupid, I'm this, I'm that, you will be stupid. You are confirming your stupidity. That means if you are constantly thinking you are weak, that means you must become weak, because you are giving that suggestion. I am weak, I am hopeless, I am dirty. Sure, you will be more dirty. The more you think you are impure, the more impure you become. Because what you think, that you become. That's the way how it acts. So, for whatever reason, the mind is behaving in a way, but you are the master of the mind. You boast so many things about other things. Why don't you boast about your mind? It is my mind. Mind should obey me. I am the master of the mind. Show that your mastership there. That is what is needed in spirituality. In spirituality, that is needed. You must show your true mastership there. But what we see in the world today, mind is the master, and we are all but slaves of the mind. We just dance to the tune of the mind, just dancing foolishly. Even dancing also we don't know how to dance properly. Any other question? Do you have any question? All questions are solved. Thank you. Guru. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name, streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name that bought for very souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the ties of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for that day when an instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years. When my heart burns away, there is desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous reign tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied, for he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.